Before we start looking for potential first data science projects, we conduct workshops with the domain experts of the respective departments, where we explain both what the basics of data science are and what role the experts play in the implementation of projects. Beyond that, we use these workshops to find a big pool of diverse use cases in a wide area within the company. That way, participants of the workshops have personal connections to the field of data science, as these potential use cases are intended to solve department-specific problems with which they are familiar. With that pool, we choose a small selection of first use cases to be realized, by looking for ones whose potential impact can be seen by everyone in the company, without being too hard to implement. For these promising use cases, we define the details in a more in-depth workshop. In summary, we discuss the benefits and costs of the project, but also the exact building blocks and technical goals to be achieved. With that being done, we are now at the point in time where we want to start on the first few Lighthouse projects. The technical implementation of these is not too different from the usual technical implementation of a data science project. We personally follow the collaborative CRISP-DM standard when we implement a project, which is an extension of the well-known CRISP-DM, the cross-industry standard process for data mining. While the conventional CRISP-DM cycle, as seen on the right, only refers to the implementation of a single project from a data scientist's perspective, the collaborative CRISP-DM adds a broader perspective by better including end users and domain experts and starting at the very beginning, the identification of a use case. But regardless of which standard you follow, a big advantage at this point is that the domain experts already have a basic understanding of data science and are ideally self-motivated to contribute to the success of the project. And the help of experts is absolutely necessary for almost every data science project, be it for the identification and acquisition of data, the explanation of data and its semantics, and the integration of already existing knowledge, for example when generating features. Looking back at the collaborative CRISP-DM graphic and considering that we work together with the domain experts to identify use cases in the first place, it really becomes clear that we require them for the majority of all phases within the implementation of a data science project. In the best case, they help providing the data, they explain the business and the data to the data scientists, and they help integrating existing knowledge in the data preparation phase. And even in the later phases of the project, the domain experts will also be involved in evaluating the performance and either use the results of the deployed projects themselves or help monitoring the end user acceptance of it, at the very least in order to know what subsequent projects will be helpful. Once we are done with the implementation and achieved the previously defined technical goals, we would like to start using the results of the project as early as possible. First and foremost, we hope that this deployment has the function of a lighthouse. After all, the first projects are called lighthouse projects for a reason. In an ideal scenario, they should not only have a signal effect in spreading awareness in every corner of the organization, but also help spreading the understanding of data science and its possibilities. Considering that we try to select the initial use cases in a way that as many employees as possible should have a personal connection to the underlying problems, seeing the deployed solutions in action and having a personal benefit in their daily work will motivate them to support further projects. In addition, especially if the first projects are at least partially successful, even other departments that might have been uninvolved until now should be motivated to give it a try themselves. The increased reach within the organization, combined with an expanded understanding of the methods, helps finding new use cases for new projects. And the more similar the subsequent projects are to the initial Lighthouse projects, the easier it will be to carry them out, since we have already started to build up the data infrastructure and the necessary knowledge in the Lighthouse projects. In the end, the first Lighthouse projects are not necessarily intended to have a huge direct financial benefit for the company. Instead, they function as good starting points for the data infrastructure and for the understanding of the business and the data, and they are intended to be positive first experiences with the field of data science.